How you doing, dear?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh man, I'm lovely, lovely. And thank you for being on It's Natural Be Natural.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Keysh, aka Keysh the Queen, Princess and the Queen.
Now I gotta ask you because I
already
love
know
your locks. How long have you had the locks?
Well, my babies are now 5 years old. As of November 8th, they are 5 years old.
Okay, and before the locks, when you made your natural transition, was there a big chop or was there braids, afro, whatever?
There was a big chop.
Okay.
There was a huge chop. I actually went from having hair that was just under shoulder length to hair that was about a quarter of an inch. Yeah,
what
real
the
short.
Big chop on? What did you do it?
My hair was very unhealthy. My hair was very unhealthy. I was having issues with stress. I was having issues with the fact that I just don't know how to do hair, especially with it being out and relaxed and just fried. So I had issues. I would always put it back in a ponytail, so the center of my head ended up being about this short. All of the hair in the center of my head was very short. So I ended up just cutting out all the perm, cutting out all the color, and saying, let's start this new. And I just retwisted them.
And was there any pushbacks or anything when you went and did that major chop? Like, who showed their ass the most?
My mother. My mother was pissed. Oh, you got those little snakes in your hair, huh? Okay.
Call them little snakes.
Little snakes,
oh,
little
wow,
worms.
I ain't heard that.
Yes. It was, I don't know. I do my best to ignore certain things like that from people, but you know, some people have their bias.
Okay, how are people with it now?
People love it now. They're so much more welcoming. I love it. I think it's awesome. Everybody wants to touch it, which is not always a good thing, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Now, as far as when you did your big chop and when you had your relaxer in your hair, do you notice a difference on how people approach you, especially men?
Well, not really. Not really. Men are the most aggressive. Women normally just sit back and watch me. So it just is what it is. Everybody pretty much welcomes me differently because I have a very warm energy about myself. So people approach me all the time just to talk to me, tell me their life story, and then we get on the hair. All the time.
So you get the life story from them first?
Yes. And then they're like, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. Yes.
Now, you spent some time in Florida and everything. Were you locked up when you were down there?
I was locked up in Florida.
Now, how did that do? Because I know with Florida, you got beaches and everything. I know. You look like a swimmer.
I wish I could. I sink. No. Okay. I mean, I do. I sink.
I'm quite sure you got that beach hair. I mean,
yes.
you was out at the beach and stuff
yes.
like that.
Yes. I love the beach. I'm like what they would call a beach bum. I'm just not a swimmer at all. I wade. I don't swim. I wade.
At the beach, did you ever do one of them famous things? That, you know, when you got long hair, you got to stick your head underneath the water.
Yes.
You got to lift it up so you got the whole water tail.
Yes.
How many times you did that down there?
I could probably count about 192 times I've done that. Thinking I'm on Baywatch somewhere, you already know. Black Watch.
Black Watch. Never good. Have you inspired anybody else to go natural?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
No one's came to you and been like, you know, Keysh, after seeing you go natural, I went ahead and made that jump, and I appreciate that. No one's came to you like that
No, unfortunately, not yet. I'm not that far along in my journey yet, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't come forward, if anything. I'm not sure about that.
So has anyone come to you and asked you any advice on going natural?
That happens.
Should I get locks? And so I didn't want to get locks because, you know, you got to cut it out, you got to be committed and stuff like that.
Yes, that happens all the time. I talk to people about their hair all the time, especially women with natural hair, because I want to hear what they have to say about their hair as well, because all of our textures are so much different, and you never really notice it until you sit and talk to someone about their journey and how things got locked up, or how things had to be married or taken apart, and how the young ladies do the Bantu knots with their natural hair, things like that. It's just all so beneficial. We can all get together and just sit down and have a forum about our hair. It would be so beneficial to us all.
Okay. And everything. When we met for the first time in public, you know, on social media, we know each other for years.
For years.
I noticed that you have something that you're doing called Princess and the Queen.
That is correct.
And I noticed that Princess, who couldn't make it unfortunately, is also natural.
Yes, she is. She really is.
Was that planned, or is this just y'all just clicked?
No, it actually was not planned. It just clicked. We actually sat down one day and we were talking about our goals and aspirations, and it was like, what? I want to do that too. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do this. I had a vision in Florida one day of me just feeling this warm energy around me, and people were around me just spitting. They were all spitting at the same time in my vision. Everybody was spitting rhymes at the same time. So I'm like, wow, I'm looking around and I see a lot of outdoorsy type of things in the environment. So I'm like, you know what, that would be great. And I think that was God's way of saying, I think that you should really allow these artists a way to get an outlet outside of the studio and outside of home with a pen and pad.
That's what's up. I just had to ask you that because, like,
yes.
You know, it's funny, like, you know, you meet people on social media, but actually seeing you do your thing, like you're actually sitting here watching me do mine, it's like, wow, that's what's up.
Yes.
So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you for coming on and taking time out your Saturday night. And I know everybody in here starving, ain't no bread.
Oh my God.
They're about to remedy that.
Woo. Thank you, Jesus.
So we're going to wrap up this thing up.
All right.
It's natural, be natural.
Yes, it's natural to be natural, y'all.